Welcome to Tech Brothers with Ahmed. Today we are going to answer this question. What type of deployment are available for an SSIS package? Explain all. So we have to consider two versions here. I will divide the old versions such as SSIS 2005 and 2008 and R2, and then we have new versions. In this one we have SSIS 2012 and 14. So in the old versions, what we were using the package deployment, and we had two options available to us. We were deploying our SSIS packages to the file system, or we were deploying our SSIS package to SQL Server, and the packages were stored in the MSDB database. So on the lower environments such as development or SIT, the developers, they have the permissions on those folders where the packages can be placed after the development, and then they create the SQL Server agent jobs to run those packages. The same way they had the permission in the dev most of the time, where you can deploy your packages directly to the SQL Server in the MSDB database. You connect to the integration services instance, and then you can import or export your packages from there. I will have a demo on all these three different type of deployments, but right now I just want to stick with the question and answer session here. So now when you are going to deploy your packages for old versions in production, you would not have permission on the folders where you put your packages, and your SQL Server agent jobs will run from there in production and UAT. So you will always check in your packages to the TFS, and then DBAs will take those packages as a part of deployment request and place those packages to the file system, or they will deploy to the SQL Server integration services, that's MSDB database, and they will create the job for you. That's for the old version. Now you have new versions such as SSIS 2012 and 2014. Here what we have project deployments. So right now the mode my project mode is in the package deployment model, and that's the old one. So I can change it if I want. I can go back, go here and convert to the project deployments. Now if you see here, this is old one, and we were using configuration files and all that. Now we have the option to use the parameter if we are using project deployments. So in those where you will have integration services catalogs, and you will create different catalogs. I have created one called SSIS DB, and I can deploy my packages here. And then here I will have options to pass the parameter to those SSIS packages, and I can change on before I can even run from the packages from here and all that. I can create the jobs as well if I want to. So when you are using new version SSIS 2012 or 14, you will be deploying your packages to the integration services catalog, and you can create multiple environments on the same server. You can create a test, dev, and production, and deploy those different versions of your SSIS packages to those environments, and set the parameters for connection managers, and or change the connection managers from there for each of the environment. Now if you do not want to use this project based deployments, still you have the option to use the package based deployment. You can simply load your packages here. Let's go to the SSDT SQL Server Data Tools, and I am using package deployment model, and I can still take my package and I can deploy to the these integration services catalogs. So I don't have to have project deployment to deploy my packages to the integration services catalog. So I can set my solution in the package deployment model, and I can deploy the packages to the integration services catalogs. Also, if I do not want to even use these databases such as integration services catalog, or in the old versions the same way we don't want to use SQL Server for storing our packages, we can store our packages in the file system. If I'm using the latest version, I can still store my packages on the file system, and I can create SQL Server agent jobs, and I can call my packages from the file location. So I don't have to have here save my packages in the integration services catalog. Let's take a look. Go here in the integration services, and it is telling us you have option to call your package from different location. You have a SSIS catalog, you have SQL Server, you have file system, package store, and SSIS catalog. So right here we have these options available to us. So if you want to stick with the old style file system deployments, you can put your packages in the file system and call those packages from here. I will have a more detailed videos on the deployments and how to deploy packages in the old versions and new versions, and but I did this is stick with this one for interview question. You have file system deployment, or you have a SQL Server MSDB deployment where your packages will be stored in the MSDB database on SQL Server, and that's for old. And now you have project deployment where your packages will be stored in the integration services catalogs, and also you can use the old style deployment file system or just store the packages in the SSDB when you are using the new version of SQL Server, but you want to stick with the old style deployment. Thanks very much for watching this video, and I will see you next video.